Greetings all, Chuke here from Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Well, I have been known to talk about the Glock 20 Gen 4 for many years now, and I still think it's a viable option. We're going to talk about that, but I have here the classic Alaskan setup. Now, you don't need to be a hunter, you just can be a hiker and a fly fisherman. That's why these are so popular, because sportsmen, hikers across the board in Alaska tend to go with something like this. Now, I've talked about it before. Guides prefer the chest holster, so they've made it popular here just because you're crossing a river, you're charged by a bear, it's right here. It's slightly faster than drawing from your hip, I feel. So very popular in Alaska. And thanks to me doing these Glock 20 videos 5-6 years ago, we have hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of guys running around with Glock 20 Gen 4 10 millimeters and probably a Kenai Gunfighter's chest holster is the most popular one. That's the kind of universal widespread chest holster. I tend to go with local ones such as Quick Lock. This is a GS Kydex chest holster, and I do have it set up for my Streamlight TLR 1HL. So this has been my main bear defense for years, over 5 years now, and a lot of people have followed suit, and it was kind of cool. I'll link Wanderbless channel up here. They're one of the only Alaskan couples that move up here that I like, but I talked to her husband last week, and he enjoys my videos. He bought a Toklet and a Glock 20 Gen 4, but it made me think, because he's like, yeah, I still have my Glock 20 Gen 4, you know, I like your videos where you talk about the new FN and all that, but, you know, I've already spent the money on my Glock 20 Gen 4, which shoots just fine. I've got the Kenai Gunfighter's chest holster, and, you know, I'm probably not going to spend an extra 600 plus bucks when I already have a solid shooting 10 millimeter. And there's something to be said for that. I tend to like the finger grooves in the Gen 4. This is the Gen 5 Glock 20, which is safe. Initially, I had some problems with it, but then it was fine, and Chuck and I couldn't get it to fail, so it's kind of interesting. However, some people are having some problems with the Gen 5 Glock 20. Hickok 45 just released some videos not too long ago where he was having some malfunctions. This one is solid, so I do like it, and although I like the finger grooves in the Gen 4 a little more, I do like the ergos. They changed the grip slightly. I don't like the ambi slide stop. It still fits in this chest holster with the light. It's a little tighter because of the ambi slide stop, but the trigger is absolutely better on the Gen 5s than the Gen 4. You really notice that. I think the recoil is slightly better with the recoil assembly, but really, when it comes down to it, I can understand why lots of guys in Alaska are going to be slow to use anything else if they already have a Glock 20 Gen 4. Not only that, but LW Road did some videos on you know, some new aftermarket barrels, maybe KKM or Lone Wolf coming out with barrels for the Gen 5, but there are already a ton of options as far as aftermarket barrels. KKM, we have found, seems to be the best. You're getting better chamber support, better lockup. You can shoot hard cast all day through these rifled barrels, because some people do get the bulging brass shooting out of a stock Glock barrel because of the chamber support, and I've done videos on problems and Glocks exploding. It does happen, not too often. I think it's pretty rare. Has not happened to me, of course, and I've done a lot of shooting with the Glock 20. But there's tons of aftermarket parts, and the barrels especially, for the Gen 4 that you can already get. A lot of guys already have replaced their mag springs. They've put, you know, a 20-pound recoil spring in their Gen 4, and they've got their KKM barrel, and they're set. They hand load for their 10 millimeters, and they're getting great power out of hard cast, out of a Glock 20. That's a beautiful thing, and that's probably one of the top setups you can have. If you really want, you know, a red dot like this monstrosity, to tell you the truth, some Trijicon night sights would probably be better than this, but this thing was pretty accurate, and I do like shooting it for now. But if you really want a red dot on your Gen 4, you can have it sent out, and within a few weeks, some shop, there's a million of them now, will put an RMR slide cut on there for you, and you can mount an optic, which is better than the MOS system anyways on this. These plates come off. Or Hammerhard Outdoors, when he was around, he was shooting a Glock MOS system and almost knocked his teeth out because these plates fail with the screws if you do a lot of shooting. So I wouldn't really trust this plate too much anyways, but if you get a slide cut, then it's a little deeper. But anyways, I digress. My point being is I can understand why a lot of Alaska guys out there aren't going to buy the best newfangled 10 millimeter out there when they've got one of the best 10 millimeters ever made, the Glock 20 Gen 5. Nothing wrong with it. It'll save your life. I think it's a great carry for the woods. And to tell you the truth, if I had to pick one, I was going on a long trip. This is the one I've shot the most, and I haven't had any malfunctions. Not a single malfunction personally with this. Now, Chuck has had some, but I don't know if he was limp wristing it. He also had some bad mags. Sometimes he tries to sabotage me, so I don't know what was up with that. But personally, I've shot, extreme penetrators, all kinds of stuff through this, and I haven't had a single malfunction. It's a rock solid Glock 20. Now, everybody asks me if I'm going stock or if I replace the barrel, what have I done to it? I haven't done a single thing to this. It is time to replace the recoil spring, I do believe, because when I feel this, it's really loose. It just goes back without any effort. And I know they might have beefed up the Gen 5, but this is much harder. And this is a 6-year-old Glock. It's time to get new springs. So I do need to do that. I've avoided a K-cam barrel just because I like keeping a stock Glock barrel and then shooting extreme penetrators and monometal buffalo bore bullets out of it. I do need to get some new night sights. I did order some, but they were the wrong ones that they sent me. So I do need some new sights because these Gen 4 plastic sights are horrid. But you can't deny that the Glock 20 Gen 4, this old school 10 millimeter Glock, is still very hard to beat. Yes, it's blocky. Yes, the ergonomics are not as good as the SIG X10. But would I trust this over the SIG X10? You bet your butt I would. Absolutely. I don't know. The FN 510 Tactical is still one of my favorites, and I don't know if that's going to completely replace this, although I've already said it has. Deep inside my soul, I'm not totally convinced of that, and I'm still very much in love with the Gen 4. So we're going to be doing some testing this summer of the Gen 4, compare it once again to some of the new things out there, and see if you do need to replace it. I say you don't if you already have one of these guys, because it's a beautiful thing. Like I said, you're going to be able to protect yourself. 15 plus one rounds of 10 millimeter. All kinds of extra barrels you can get. I think it's great, and I don't think the king is going to be usurped anytime soon. Glock 20 Gen 4. Let me know what you guys think. Let the arguments begin in the comments. Please become a patron if you can. I got links down below. And thanks, guys. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10 millimeter. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you go side every